Amanda Bonsark, and let's get things flowing. So let's talk softball. For those of you joining in right now, you can chat down below, and I'll be more than happy to respond to all the stuff that you are saying. But first news we got from softball is Spain makes history. Three teams undefeated after WBSC U15 Women's Softball World Cup Day 2. So, three teams remain undefeated. Japan in Group A, USA and Australia in Group B. Spain defeated America Samoa in an extra inning thriller and celebrated a historic first win in the WBSC Softball World Cup. So, the three teams, Japan defeating champions USA and Australia, remaining undefeated after second day of the WBSC U15 Women's Softball World Cup 2025, taking place in Carono, Venezuela. This is amazing news here. Yeah, they're making history. I haven't been able to watch the WBSC championship because I don't have the subscription. But I love that these women are making history, and things are looking really nice for everybody around the world. This is happening in Italy at this point in time. So don't be afraid to chat down below. Who's your favorite team? Where are you listening from? And how things are flowing on your area. So, I hope that you're all hearing me as clear as possible. Um, right now we are having ourselves a good time here live. Perfect. I can hear that everything is flowing as smooth as it should. Um, so far I got some news to tell you. Um, I have some new episodes running of my podcast right here on my YouTube channel. Um, one of them being a latest insight on the banana ball. I've been getting a little bit of interest in the banana ball lately. It's more than just the gimmicks. Like they say, we make baseball fun. Fans first, entertain always. So I've been getting a little bit interested in the banana ball so far. If you want to check it out, it's on YouTube and Spotify and other audio platforms. The podcast is only audio. Um, and it's all looking real nice. Make sure to once you go head out to WSPN on YouTube, you go and subscribe, so that way I can get closer into growing the community. I want to grow the community as much as we can, because excuse me, because we need to grow the softball. We need to showcase everything that has to do with softball and women in sports. And that's what I'm doing. That's one of my main purposes around here, to showcase women in sports. So let's continue doing the best that we can with women in sports. And we're gonna have some good times, good vibes. So don't forget to share around the live show at this point in time. Let's talk hashtag softball, and let's get it running. So I hope that you're all having a great, wonderful evening on this lovely Saturday. If you're listening on this side of the world, I'm from Puerto Rico, the Caribbean. Um, so yeah, I also have another episode of my podcast running in that's AOSO 2025 Mid-Season Madness. If you are willing to get that in, then make sure to get yourself running and flowing with that. And I'll be more than happy to, discuss some of my favorite players that are running at this point in time on the mid-season. We have so many good players to talk about, like Odyssey Alexander. Um, there is Skylar. Skylar's another good one. Amanda Lawrence, one of my favorites at this point in time. Amanda Lawrence and Corey McMillian. Sam Laundry. Sam Laundry is another one that actually gave us good games on the NCAA, and she's still showing up and giving us good stuff on the professional side of softball. So don't forget to check those stuff out, and we'll get ourselves around with better stuff. So for those of you that are interested in the um, NCAA version of softball, there has been new teams that have been revamped with more players because this the last season was like the last games for some of the players for the seniors. So there's been updates and stuff, and also you can catch the highlights of the final game of the Texas versus Texas Tech, which that was phenomenal if you ask me. So there's been new players and whatnot. In 2026, the venue is going to be Devon Park on Oklahoma City, and the first date of the series will be Thursday, May 28th. Then the championship series will be June 3rd, June 4th, and June 5th. June 5 probably would be like a if necessary game. In 2027, it's gonna also be in Devon Park. Up until 2030, we're gonna have Devon Park, and things are looking amazing for NCAA. Once the NCAA comes back, I'm gonna be all up on it and putting so much news out there when it comes to D1 softball. But I have a hot take. I have a hot take to say. Um, you know, there's a lot of players that are getting into D1, and some of those players are not worthy of being on the D1, not because they're not great players, just because they deserve to play. And it's sad that some players are going to be on the D1 division and they're just going to be benched the whole season just because they're not D1 quality, but they have just the minimum amount of requirement to be in D1. And I think if you put them on D2 at least, they're going to be like MVPs on that division. And I think there should be a better way of dividing the teams and whatnot, and getting better the players situated on the correct division. That way they can play. Because what's the point of being part of a team if you're just going to be sitting on the bench the whole season? I don't know if anyone agrees with me or anyone thinks otherwise, but that's the thing. And I hope that we can change that mentality of everyone trying to be part of the D1 division. All right, I don't like getting too political on my radio show, but we do have to get political sometimes. And Trump in the White House sends message to Minnesota after trans softball pitcher leads team to state championship. You know, so a transgender softball pitcher in Minnesota sent shockwaves throughout the nation after leading Championship Park High School to a state championship on Friday. So the trans athletes' participation in the girls' softball season was in defiance of President Donald Trump's keeping men out of women's sports. It's executive order, and it's the focus of a lawsuit filed by three anonymous female players. So the White House responded to news of trans athletes championship in an exclusive statement to Fox News Digital. Quoting here, President Trump is protecting women in sports and restoring common sense. Those who choose to violate federal law will be held accountable. White House spokesperson Harrison Fields said in response to an inquiry on the situation in Minnesota. So Minnesota is currently under a federal investigation for potential Title IX violation of for refusing to comply with Trump's executive order. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Allison filed a lawsuit against Trump's administration in April in an effort to protect its current gender eligibility policies. So the state also failed to pass a bill that would have barred biological males from girls and women's sports in early March after Democrats in the state legislature voted against it. So this allowed the trans pitcher junior Marissa Rodenberger to have a dominant playoff run for Champlain Park. Rodenberger threw a complete game shutout, allowing just 3 hits and striking out 6 in the championship game Friday, capping off a run that saw Rothenberger pitch all 21 innings across 3 states tournament games, giving up just 2 runs. The junior allowed just 2 runs across 35 total innings in the postseason. Then, after the conservative influencer and former NCAA swimmer Riley Gaines shared news of Rottenberger's victory on X on Friday, it sparked a widely publicized feud with Olympics gymnasts Simon Biles. Biles responded to a post in which Gaines pointed out that the Minnesota State High School League disabled comments on its post announcing Champlain Park softball team as state champions, calling Gaines truly sick. So the feud has sparked widespread backlash against Biles, including by Trump's son Donald Trump Jr. On the X page of Donald Trump Jr. said, solid question. Taylor Silverman said, if Larry Nassar came out as Linda Nassar, would Simon Biles want him moved to a women's prison? Huh, good question. And then in the USA Today, it said Simon's bills shows her greatness against in standing up for transgender community. And then Donald Trump Jr. said, lol, ratio incoming. Huh. Some people have some nerves, am I right? So the White House has previously addressed Allison's lawsuit against Trump's administration in a statement to Fox News Digital as well. Quoting here, why would a grown man sue the Trump administration to allow other biological males to participate in women's sports? This is creepy and anti-woman. Field said in April. So, Americans are predicting will UPenn stop allowing men to participate in women's sports by fall 2025? And a 50% chance toss up, you know? So, a New York Times Ipsos survey said and found the vast majority of Americans, including a majority of Democrats, don't think transgender athletes should be permitted to compete in women's sports. Of the 2,128 people who participated, 79% said biological males who identify as women should not be allowed to participate in women's sports. Of the 1,025 people who identify to compete with women, followed for Fox News Digital for more insight on this. But you know, let me tell you. Sure, I'm not opposed in the sense that anyone should play wherever they feel comfortable playing. But the thing is, even if you supposedly transition to a female, you know, you still have some biological attributes of a male. I'm sorry to say this. I might get canceled for saying this, I might get destroyed for saying this, but it's biologically proven the male are stronger than females, even though in certain cases women can be extremely stronger than males. That's a given fact. You know how you can see that on wrestling and UFC and boxing that some women can pack a punch, you know? But the thing is, and here's the concern. Softball is not about fighting. It's not about being aggressive. It's just about swinging the bat on the precise moment, you know? And unfortunately, some males have better biceps than women, giving them a slight advantage. And that is why I think that males or women or trans women shouldn't be participating in uh, women's sports. What I do think, and I will also get canceled for saying this, is that women should stay in their league, males should stay in their league, and there should be, as well as there is a Special Olympics, there should be a Trans Olympics where trans males and trans females actually compete on those leagues. That's just my opinion, and I'm just being honest here. But, 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 at the end of the day, anyone can participate in any sort of sport they desire and anywhere they feel comfortable, participating. There shouldn't be, in my opinion, a a bill passed or a law or anything of that matter where it prohibits trans women and trans males to participate where they feel comfortable participating. It's just my humble opinion, and you might think otherwise, but that's the way I think. That's the way I see it. That's the way I have always had, my mentality in. It's quite difficult to put that in perspective, and to make some people understand that even though you transition, it doesn't make you a woman. Even if you transition, it doesn't make you a male, you know? That's why there is the meme that says that some males do bleed. Because even if you transition as a female to a male, you still have all your female attributes and biological cycles. It's a thing, and then there is no other way to put it. And I'm sorry to say it. I'm totally sorry to say it, but that's just a way. And I feel that things are flowing for that sort of situation. Um, and Women should stay where they are best, and males should stay where they are best, and trans should have their own separate thing. But then again, trans don't want to be secluded and separated. They want to feel part of the whole scenario and whole situation. And making a league specifically for the trans people, it really does alienate trans, which is not the case what I'm trying to do. But I'm trying to point out that no matter what uh, sort of way you put it, you still have the biological attributes of your original gender. You will always do. Even if you have yourself 90% of female hormones on your body, you're still a male. Even if you change yourself completely, you're still a male. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. And it also applies vice versa from female to male. Just because you do a mastectomy and all that stuff doesn't make you a male. I'm sorry, that's just how it goes. And I'm not trying to say that I'm in favor of what Trump is doing. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that um, things are what they are. I'm sorry. It's a little difficult to accept, and lots of people might cancel me, might get annoyed by me. But that's the way I see it. That's the way I will always portray things, you know. And there is no other way to change my mind. Sorry, but that's just one way to put things. So those are the sort of topics I wanted to discuss at this point in time. So for those of you that tuned in or listening afterwards, thank you. I appreciate that a lot. And make sure to follow me on every social media as Ender Van Zarko WSBN. And check out my podcast and check out my news articles right here on Substack. And let's get things flowing. And always try to showcase more women in sports, you know? And as always, hit me up on X and let's keep the conversation going. This is WSBN and I'm Ender Van Zark signing off. Keep swinging for the fences. Bye.